Hey guys, and welcome back to Daily Duels. So today is Wednesday, and that means I will be using Mermail. But this is another one of those soapbox videos where pretty much I do the recording, then I talk, and then I record the footage, the duels. Afterwards, and I just put it in there, and you guys can watch the duels if you want to. But these soapboxing episodes are pretty much about, listening to what I have to say. So as you guys can tell by the title, today I'm going to be talking about my YCS Las Vegas experience. Of course, you guys know there was a YCS this past weekend in Las Vegas, and I live in Las Vegas. It's like, of course I'll go. I mean, I live here, for goodness sake. Same thing with Worlds. It was in Las Vegas, so of course I went to that as well. This is my second recording of this damn video. The video was like a half an hour long, and didn't notice that my mic wasn't turned on, so I sat there and I pretty much did nothing for a half an hour because, it didn't even pick up not even the slightest bit of my voice, so therefore I had to do this whole recording again. So, the YCS event was Saturday and Sunday. I did enter. It was my first big tournament that I've ever entered. I've never entered any regionals or YCS, etc. So, I wasn't completely prepared. My side deck wasn't completely done. I wanted to have twisters or a full house, but all I had was Dust Tornado, which some people argue is the better card, so that wasn't that bad. I wanted to have False Adonis, but I didn't have those, so I went with Vanity's Emptiness. I did not have an Exciton Knight. I did not have a 101, so I was kind of entering on a whim, and both of those cards would have came in very very handy in the duels, especially Exciton. Like, if I could only have one, it would definitely have been Exciton in the tournament. So the tournament started really early. I didn't go to pre-registration on a Friday, so I didn't get the token, which is fine. I didn't really care. But on Saturday, you had to go early to go ahead and get yourself registered. So we left about 7 o'clock in the morning, went picked up all my friends. They weren't entering the tournament or anything. It was free to get in. You had to pay for the side events. They didn't enter any side events, so pretty much they just sell and traded. So I'm glad that they still had fun despite, not really doing anything. Anyway, we drive down there, and it was at a Cashman Center, which is a place in Las Vegas close to the Strip. And I don't go to the Strip that often. I know you guys are thinking like, wait, you live in Las Vegas and you don't go to the Strip? No, I don't. I do not go to the Strip. Maybe once a year, maybe once every 6 months, I'll head down to the Strip to do something. But mostly, I live outside the Strip. I live close to the northwest of Las Vegas, while the Strip is southeast. So don't really go on that side of town. Anyway, I didn't know where to go. I MapQuest the place. I get to the street. MapQuest tells me to make a right. I make a right. We get lost. We have to go to like an insane style security guard. And he's like, "Oh, you make a left." We make a left, and hold and behold, there's actually a street called Cashman Center. The big flashing sign that says YCS, Yu-Gi-Oh, Las Vegas. On April, I think it was like 12th and 13th. So I was like, oh, okay, here it is. And as soon as we get in there, Konami is all up in my wallet already. You have to pay for parking. Parking costs $4. So I had to take out my wallet, hand the guy a $5. He gave me my dollar change, and we went and parked the car. So we go ahead and wait in line. At this point, the line is actually really, really long. And we get in line, and there's actually Konami assisted or Konami judge. I'm not sure what the guy's position was, but he was handing out the registration slip so you can get registered and your deck list paper. He said have the registration paper filled out by the time you get up to the front of the line and get inside, and you can finish your deck list inside. So I finished the registration paper, but I don't have enough time to finish my deck list. So we're going up in line. There's some white guys in front of us. So there's a white guy at the door. They didn't finish their deck list, and he lets them right inside. He says, "Oh yeah, you can go ahead and finish your deck list at the table." We get up there, me and all my friends who are African American. The darker skinned complexion, if you get what I'm saying. And like I said, the guy at the door was white. I show him that I have my registration paper filled out, and could I go inside and finish my deck list like the people in front of us. And he says, no, you gotta have your deck list finished, go to the back of the line. Yep. So, and I'm not calling racist or anything like that, but yeah, it's kind of suspicious. Anyway, at this point the line isn't even that long, so we go ahead, head back. There's actually like this cement pillar. I put my stuff down and start filling out my deck list. I entered with Constellars. My Yubel deck is still under construction. I'm pretty much testing the deck on Vitamin Y with Supervised Yubel because that's my deck in real life. So, once I get it nice and comfortable in the way I like it on Vitamin Y, I can always go ahead and just make it in real life and, play it for fun. But I decided to enter with my Constellars. I was fairly confident that I would do well. People were underestimating Constellars. They really wouldn't see it coming please as a dick, so, hopefully I was going to do well with it. Like I said, this was my first big event. So I finished my deck list, and when it was time to head back inside, the guy, we just ignored him, and we went through a whole entirely separate door. When we get inside, it was a really big venue. Like, it was a really huge catchment center. Was really big, and it was only a part of it too, and it was really big. There was like thousands of people there. I won't say thousand, like 1,000 plus. Participants that entered the tournament were 1,111 people. I know that's pretty funny, but I decided to go ahead and enter the YCS. It costs $20 to enter, and when you pay the $20, you get 5 packs. So you're still making your money back. At least you're getting something. You're not just throwing away $20. You at least get something. So you're not allowed to record on the venue. We're not allowed to record on the venue, so me and my friends went outside and we recorded the pack opening outside. You'll see that as a live video eventually whenever I decided to upload it, but yeah, we recorded that. We did our opening. We go inside. At this point, the tournament doesn't start for a cool minute, so I just walk around and I, recognize some people from my locals. I recognize people who recognize me. I actually ran into Cold Zephyr Zero, the YouTube channel that one of my friends and also who I allowed to guest slip on my channel. I ran into him. I also ran into a couple of my subscribers, so it was good to see them. And next thing you know, it's time for the tournament to start. So I'm going to try to go into the best detail as I can about the rounds, etc., and hopefully you guys get a gist of what happened. So, despite being 1,111 people, and you go to a specific table, the first round I went to like table 15, so it's like, oh, right in the front, and didn't get lost, so that's great. So we'll go ahead and get to the table, sit down. Not really sure what I'm doing against, but you weren't allowed to start until the judges tell you to start, but the guys sitting next to us were already starting the duel. The guy sitting next to me was actually using skillless trash light swords, and I look over and I see his hand, and he opens up with triple JD. I'm like, wow, alright. But he still ends up losing because the opponent he was dueling against was a guy using Infernities and all the back row, and he ends up losing despite that, because all the answers. Anyway, tournament starts. The guy rolls a 12. The guy just bam, 12. I'm like, okay, well, you'll be going first. I tried to roll, but I only rolled like a 9. So he goes first. And the duel starts off actually kind of slow, at least 4 turns without either of us doing anything. I didn't open up that well monster-wise. Lots of back row, lots of answers, deep prison, bottomless, torrential, warning, etc., etc. Back row, really back row heavy. So, like I said, turns pass. I actually draw Rhoda, but I don't want to play it because, my only warrior in my deck is Pollux. So if I would have played Rhoda and it would have revealed Pollux, and he would have known exactly what I'm playing. So I waited it out. So I set some back row. He starts to go off, and he starts using a lot of resources with his plays. And like I said, I opened up with a lot of back row, so I had answers for all of his plays. Next thing you know, before I actually start getting started with the duel and doing my plays, he's down to like 3 cards, while I still have like 8. So I start, poking him and blowing him out of the water. And he actually drops a BLS on me, but instead of actually banishing, he decides to attack and gets deep prison. I actually beat him. He gets my life points down to 2,500. He goes down to 0, so I win round 1. We start to side. I decided to take out my Mind Crushes, because with Mind Crush, the thing is that all of his summons, I really can't respond. They don't start a chain like Dragon Rulers or Mermail, so I really can't, he doesn't reveal and then I can respond. So it doesn't start a chain, therefore I was like, I really can't tell when he has it. He didn't play Heraldics Seal Confiscation at all. He didn't play the Blue Eyes Turbo or nothing. It was just Dragon Rulers with Heretics. So he sides. I'm not sure what he sides. I think he sides in some back row hate, but I know he doesn't side in like skill drain or light imprisoning, especially not light imprisoning, because that would hurt him since it's his heretic. So he doesn't side in that. He doesn't side in rivalry either. So I don't know what that. I thought he was going to side in some anti-me, so I side in my dust tornadoes. I side in Vanity's Emptiness to stop the special summoning, and I side in debunks. So, when he tries to activate one of his effects in hand, I can go debunk, or one of the Dragon Rulers, I can go debunk. But, we go ahead and go into game 2, and, I actually open up with Pleiades this duel. I actually do Pleiades in this duel, and I actually do a pretty smart play. So I have Pleiades on the field. He goes, special summon Tefnuit. I say, that's fine. He goes, normal summon the little normal galaxy little tuner guy, and I'm like, that's fine. But then I chain Pleiades, and I bounce back the Tefnuit, because he can't special summon because he has a monster, and he already normal summon because he has a tribute. That's when he drops BLS. He tries, once again, instead of banishing, he tries to attack, and I deprison him once again. And I beat him. He does not touch my life points. I'm 8,000. I drop him all the way down to 0, and I 2-0, and I am the winner. So despite losing a dice roll, I still win. So at this point, I am now 1-0, and I felt, pretty good about myself. My first big tournament, and I win the first round against, a deck that, people find on the radar, while me, on the other hand, using Constellars. That's not even on the radar, right? So, time passes in between rounds. My friends actually decided to actually purchase premium gold. It was more expensive at the YCS. They were actually charging 20 instead of the regular 15. But you're not going to find it anywhere else in the inner city of Las Vegas, and they had some money to throw away, so they decided to purchase it for 20, and we decided to go outside and do an opening. So that's another video that you guys will see. They also decided to purchase a second one, but my phone messed up and I didn't get that footage, so I apologize about that. But you guys will get to see that. So next thing I know, the next round is starting. So once again, I had no idea what I'm going against. I win the dice roll, and one of my major regrets about this entire tournament is, 1, I didn't have the Exciton, and 2, I wish I had Kaiser in a lot of situations. Kaiser Coliseum. So I won the dice roll. I go first. I don't open up with a lot of monsters. It's either like Algaidi and Pollux, or Pollux, or Algaidi, pretty much, or however you pronounce that freaking damn Constellar's name. But I try to go for the smart play, go for an Omega to block back row, of course. But I don't know that I'm going up against Raccoons, so, because I had the Omega and I went first, he go ahead and activate his Obedience School, makes his tuner, makes the token, the same attack as my Omega, rams it, sets a ton of back row. Every time I draw into a monster, try to make a play, he hits me with the back row, and I pretty much lose without touching him. So he's at 8,000, and I drop down to 0. So we go ahead and side. I didn't know much about Raccoons, so I didn't side in the Prohibition because, I didn't know none of their names. I did have Zombie World sided, but I forgot that they had to be beasts to go ahead and go into their Xyz, so I didn't side in Zombie World. I sided in Vanity's Emptiness. I knew he was going to side in more for me, so I put in the Dust Tornadoes. And, what else did I put in? I don't think I put in anything else. I think that's all I put in. So, I'll go ahead and go first. I actually get first turn Pleiades. I summon Pleiades. He sets 1 monster and 5 back row, and I'm just like, shit. Great, a lot of back row. And I didn't get MSTs or Dust Tornadoes or Lances or anything. So, I thought I was going to get hit with back row, so I'll go ahead and turn Pleiades to defense mode, and I summon Algaidi to start doing the damage instead, while Pleiades is going to be as a control the bouncing, etc. And then he went ahead and flipped up Light Imprisoning Mirror. Like I said, I didn't have Dust Tornado or MST, and he pretty much just beats my face in because he gets rid of my monsters. Light Imprisoning, I can't do anything, and he pretty much just wins the duel. So he 2-0s me. I don't touch his life points either duel. And once again, if I had Kaiser, it would have been a much different duel, or if I would have drew into MSTs or Dust Tornado, so it just wasn't my duel. So now I am 1-1, and there wasn't much that happened in between rounds. We just kind of sat down, talked. I ate some chips and some drink because, we decided to bring food to the venue because, we'd probably be down there all day. So, but we weren't. So round 3 starts, and I go up against 3.5 Axis Firefist, and I hate that deck. I hate Firefist. It's probably one of my most hated decks this format, just because of this, how consistent they are and how well they can top deck. I actually have the YGO Pro app on my phone. That's literally the only deck that I duel against the computer is Firefist, because that's the only deck that I have a hard time with. They're really lucky. I mean, for goodness sakes, look at yesterday's Vitamin Y where I duel against that Firefist guy, and he top decked and beat me because he could top deck. And that's how usually Firefist beat me, is because of how lucky they are. So, I win the dice roll. I go first. I actually open up really well. I open up with Pleiades, I open up with Mind Crash, I open up with Kaiser Coliseum. It's just like a really beautiful, great hand. So he go ahead and he goes, tanky, search for bear. And I go ahead and flip up the Mind Crush. I call bear. He had 2 bears in hand. He got rid of those. And the only flaw with my plan is that he happened to have spirit. So he goes and summons, you know, uh, leopard, get Tensu spirit, and pretty much Pleiades can't respond to any of that because all of them get their effects when they're summoned. Also, he had Tensu, so, and this is like the second turn. He also had another additional summon, so even if it would bounce, he could have just summoned it again. So when he goes for the Horse Prince, I decided to bounce the Horse Prince because that's the only thing I could bounce without him summoning Tensu. He summons the Rooster searches for another Tenki searches for the bear. Tensu summon the bear, throw the chair at my Pleiades, and he pretty much just beats my face in just because he happened to get lucky and he happened to have the damn Rooster in his hand. Because if he didn't have if he didn't have Spirit, he wouldn't have beat me. So once again, I get beaten by luck of him just having just a great ass hand, and I lose. So we go into game 2. I side in Prohibition, so I can go ahead and call Tenki or Bear. I side in Dust Tornado because back row hate. I think he was going to side in anti for me, also to hit the Tenkis, etc. And yeah, that's pretty much what all I side. So we go into game 2. I open up with Pleiades once again, and I'm nice and set up. I've got a great hand. I pass to him, and he's sitting there trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. I think that he's probably just going to scoop it up and go to game 3. But all of a sudden, the judges conveniently come over, just us two, and decide to say mandatory deck check. Put your decks in the deck box. This round right here is null and void. You're going to have to start over. So we have to take our shit. I was probably going to win the round. They go ahead and take our shit, put it in the deck box, and they take our deck box away. They come back 5 minutes later, like, oh, everything's in the clear, and you got an extra 8 minutes in this round, and you can go ahead and start again on round 2. So once again, we go ahead and go. I don't open up as well, but I open up decently. Eventually, I summon Pleiades. I play the Prohibition. I actually call Tenki because I thought he was going to go ahead and Tenki search because I thought he didn't have bear at this point. He goes summon leopard tribute, and he tries to set Tenki, and we had to call the judge because we weren't exactly sure if you can actually select Tenki as a target and set it if Prohibition called the Tenki, but the judges said that it would be face down, so it's fine. So then he MSTs my Prohibition and then plays Tenki and searches, and then he summons, and I bounce him back with Pleiades, and then he says that's game. So we go to round 3. Round 3, he goes first. He goes leopard, tribute, summon, get Tenki. Tenki search for spirit, but he doesn't have the Tensi, so he couldn't go up. So I know he has spirit. So I actually open up with 2 Prohibition. So I'll go Prohibition, call spirit, Prohibition, call bear. And if you call those 2, that's pretty much it because you can't play the 2 best monsters in the deck. So I don't open up with a lot of monsters. I think I just open up with Al-Gaidi. I just poke him. And I poke him. Next thing you know, he was pretty much done. He couldn't do anything. He draws straight into the MST. MST's the Prohibition on Spirit and just goes off and beats me. So once again, he beats me through pure luck. Even he was like, yeah, I got lucky out of that. And that's one of the things that pisses me off about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that there's still a factor of luck. That you didn't beat me through skill. You just happen to be lucky. And that's the same thing that happened with the freaking Firefist guy on Vitamin Y. That pissed me off too. Where he got lucky and I lost pretty much because he got lucky. So now I'm 1-2, and it sucks. So one more loss, and I might as well just drop because there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to top. So round 4, I go up against Skillish Trash Lightsworns. It's not the same Lightsworn guy as the guy at the beginning, but once again I do against Lightsworns, and I beat him easily. I 2-0 him, 8,000 both duels. He didn't touch me at all. I actually go Pleiades, and he wasn't expecting it. He didn't summon JD at all, and he didn't summon BLS or any of those boss monsters actually. So I beat him round 1. He doesn't touch me at all, and I go ahead and side in generic move from play shit like Macro and D-Fissure. I side in Debunk, and I side in Fanny's Emptiness. He wasn't touching my life points. There's actually a point in duel. I flipped up Macro. He couldn't mail to the graveyard anymore. He actually played Solar Recharge, and I played Macro, and his card would fizzle because he'd have to mail to the graveyard. He couldn't fit the requirement of the card, so the card would fizzle. So at this point, actually, I didn't get a high monster count, so I just summoned Koth and I started poking him with Koth. He tries to summon Garroth and attack me, and I book him and I run over Garroth. I draw into Prohibition, and I was thinking of all the things that he could do. there was no monster that was strong enough over my cost. I was assuming he only ran one Garroth because Lightstorm players don't usually run more than one Garroth. You couldn't summon JD, you couldn't summon BLS, there was no Darks and Grey, so therefore, when I drew the Prohibition, I was like, there's only one monster that can really get rid of my cost right now. So I go ahead and play the Prohibition, and I called Jane. And the look on his face, it seemed like he had Jane, and that was his plan, is to run over my cost with Jane. So he actually has like this plan where he goes monster reincarnation, pitches, gets back his honest because he actually had honest in the grave before I flipped up macro. He summons his Lily, tried to attack me and honest me, but he couldn't, of course, because honest has to go to the grave and macro in the field, so he couldn't do that, and I ended up beating him. He doesn't touch my life points, 8,000, 8,000. So now I am now 2-2, and I'll go ahead and move on to round 5. Round 5, I'm pretty much surrounded by people who are also 2-2, and pretty much this is it. Whoever loses is out, and whoever wins moves on in the tournament. So, I duel against Mythic Rulers. Mythic Ruler Turbo at the ass. So, I opened up with Pleiades, and I opened up with Kaiser. It's a pretty good opening. He sets like 3 back row. At this point, I'm not really sure what I'm going against at this point. So, I go with the smart play, and I make it a Omega to block the back row with Pleiades, right? So I'll go ahead and go poke, and that's probably the flaw and the reason why I lost the first duel is because I allowed Kaiser to be spread open to 2 because of Omega and Pleiades, which would have been the smarter move to now block the back row because I didn't know what I was going against. But I didn't know I was going against Mythic Ruler, so he plays double trade-in, double convocation, double reckless, and then trap stuns, and then he summons Black Rose, wipes my field, and just pretty much OTKs the living shit out of me. So, yep, that happened. What I should have done was actually, I really couldn't stop his monster from being summoned, so I probably should have went Pleiades, bounce back to Omega, back to the extra deck, and then I would have had 1, so he couldn't even make the Black Rose. But that was still going to be a risky play. Hindsight's 20/20, so he ends up winning the first round. Game 2, I open up with Thunder King, Ryo, Kaiser, and sets him back row. He opens up like crap. Like, I'm poking him with Thunder King Ryo. He's actually using Redox in his hand, banishing 2 dragons in his hand to summon Redox to block me. I summoned Bear. I started poking at him with Bear and Thunder King. Bear's setting the Tenki. Of course, I'm not going to activate it because Tiki won't allow me to search. You keep on blocking. Then when I know I got game, I go ahead and flip up the Tenki, no search. Bear throw the Chariot, Redox, attack, and then make a Cowboy. So that was game. So I won round 2 because he opened up like shit. And then round 3, pretty much he opens up the tits. I really don't remember what happened. I just know in the end of the duel, he gets out Felgran. I have 2 Sombres in my hand, and I draw into a Thunder King, and of course, it's too late, and he has Sombre, so he wins. So now I'm out. I'm now 2-3. I dropped, and we just decided to leave. We actually come back the next day to do some trading. I didn't pay for the parking. My friend did. We actually had to park on top of the hill because all the parking was filled in the lot closer to the door, so we had to park uphill and walk all the way down. The hill had a serious incline, at least 40-degree angle. So, we were like pretty much walking on the balls of our feet the entire time we were walking down. And then when walking up, that was a pain in the butt too. But our friends wanted to make some trades, etc., make some sells, and we weren't there for long. I'd say maybe like not even like an hour or 2 before we just decided to leave. So I didn't enter the regionals. I didn't really feel like it. My deck wasn't ready. So I learned a lot. I learned that Kaiser's really good. I learned that I need to get an Exciton, because Exciton would have been great to wipe all that back row that I kept on facing all the damn time. And, yeah, Full House would have been really great, I'm still trying to figure out, I need to get a little bit more back row hate. I'm debating between Full House and Malevolent Catastrophe. The thing with Malevolent Catastrophe is they still get the attack in. With Full House, I can do it on my terms. I play Tenkis, I play Kaiser, so I got some face-up cards. You can start a chain with it. It's just having your opponent have the 3 set, but, I think Full House is actually a pretty decent card this format, especially since you can chain to it. So, if I have like a Tenki on the field and then they flip and they play their Tenki and they set back row, I can go ahead and go Full House, my Tenki, your 3 back row, and blow it all up. So, it was a fun experience. So, that's pretty much it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this, YCS, my YCS Las Vegas experience. Hopefully I had the mic on this time, because like I said, I sat there, I recorded. This video is a little bit shorter. The other one was like 33 minutes, so I didn't, keep some unnecessary detail in. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully my mic is on, so I won't have to re-record again. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching this. Thank you guys for all the support, and I will see you guys tomorrow with Thunder Family Pendulum. Thanks for watching.